Welcome back to this channel. So today I wanted to talk about affordability. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it means, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys 3 rules to go by before making any big purchases. So before I start, I want to define what affordability is. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, affordability is defined as follow: is to be cheap enough for people to buy it. To be cheap enough means for you to have enough money to make the purchase. Something that is cheap enough for me may not be cheap enough for you. Something that is cheap enough for you may not be cheap enough for me. So, for example, like a celebrity like Jay-Z or Beyonce, they can afford a $500,000 car where I cannot, or they can afford a $200 let's just say car again, and I can't, because they have that kind of money. They have financially, they have those assets, and they have this kind of income coming in where I don't. So in order to be able to afford something, you have to evaluate your incoming to see if you can afford it. So I just want you guys to hear this, and then I'll come back and talk more about affordability.
Well, just last month, she spent $700 on some Balenciaga sneakers.
You spent $700 on some sneakers?
Yes, I did. Your Honor.
And then
Do you have $700 sneaker money?
Yes.
So at the end of any given month, how much do you put in your savings account? Don't lie. That would be a big fat zero, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Alright, so in this example, you can see that so the lady, she's buying $700 shoes, but at the end of each month, she doesn't have anything in her bank account, any savings. And I think that's what's wrong, and I think that's where a lot of people misunderstand affordability. They think, well, if I have the cash, even though I don't have anything left in my bank account, I can afford it. But in reality, that's not the case. If you only have the money to just buy that item, and then at the end of the day, tomorrow, if you have an emergency, you cannot take care of that emergency, in reality, you cannot afford it. And I think it has to do with society today. The new thing is show off, fronting, like, and I don't blame you guys. I don't blame anybody really, because I'm victim. Not victim, but I totally understand, because sometimes you go on social media, it's the pressure of social media. Sometimes you go on social media and you see people with nice clothes, with nice bags, nice shoes, and then you kind of feel bad about your life, and you kind of want to do the same, not knowing a lot of them are faking it. They are fronting. They don't have the money like that. A lot of them are renting just to show us something that isn't true, and we buy into that. We buy into that because we're looking, okay, well, this person has this. Let me see if I can go and buy it. So and then we just go and buy it, and then at the end of the day, when we have a true emergency, we cannot take care of it because we're busy buying stuff that we don't necessarily need, just to prove to society that we can afford it, just to prove to society that we're trending. And I think it's a mentality. It's a new thing. That's how society works. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to be in style, and that's fine. If you have the money and you can afford it, that's great. But if you don't, I don't want you guys to feel pressure to go and put yourself in debt just to please people that you don't even know. And I have a quote that says, and I love this, Don't buy things you cannot afford with money you don't have to please people you don't even like. That's just, and in reality, that's what it is. Buying things that we don't have money to buy just to please a number of people that half of the times we don't even know. They don't know us, and sometimes people that we don't even like. And to me, it's like, why put yourself in that pressure, especially when you have a family and you have kids? You know, why put yourself in that pressure? Why put yourself in a situation where tomorrow, if you have an emergency, you cannot take care of it? I'm not saying never buy things, like expensive things, but I'm saying have some type of rule before you go and make those purchases. Make sure you evaluate your income, what you currently have, and before you do. So I I have 3 rules for you guys. Okay. Number 1, if buying anything that you want, not need, but any want is gonna make your bank account 0, you cannot afford it. That's a no-no right there. You can't. Don't buy it. Just don't. So the next 2 that I want to talk about, they're more like advice. If you are single, living by yourself, you don't have any boyfriend, or you could have a boyfriend, or don't have any husband, any kids, I just want to say, make sure you have at least 6 months rent saved up somewhere, and then maybe you can buy whatever you want. Make sure that you have that covered, because just in case you have an emergency, because we know how life is, so unexpected. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying that that's like the perfect way to avoid or prepare for something, but that's at least something. At least you know, okay, well, if this happened tomorrow, at least I can tap into that and deal with the situation. So make sure you have 6 months worth of rent before you go and buy anything crazy. So for people with family, for people with kids, I want to say, before you make any big purchase, make sure you have at least 6 to 12 months savings, 6 to 12 months of your expenses. So that's not just rent. So we're talking about rent, food, like anything that you need, any necessity. Make sure you have 6 to 12 months saved up before you go and buy anything. And if you have kids, make sure that you're putting something away for your kids, because I'm not saying to have, like, I don't know, like how much college is nowadays, but like, I'm not saying to have the entire college fund ready, but at least have something that you're putting away every month before you go and spend your money like that. And I think it's very interesting, because the way the world is moving and the way things are, I was reading an article, and it says that one of the things that in the U.S. the middle class cannot afford anymore is emergency savings. And I think it was kind of interesting, because again, life is so uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen, and the fact that today the middle class cannot afford that, it's pretty scary. And I think that's why you hear a lot of times when people lose their job, they ended up losing everything. They lose their house, their home, everything. And I think it's scary. I think it's time to start taking control of our finances. Make sure we know what's going on. Do not just go and buy stuff just to please people around us, but, be aware of what we really can afford, and not just spend money just to please people, but, be able to, like, buy it when you really can buy it. So I hope you guys like this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.